On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
So if you had two things, no-fault divorce was removed, and if the children were automatically presumed to go with the father, how many relationships would end up, how many wives do you think would end up walking away? I think the number would drop drastically.
Yeah.
But women aren't going to vote for that. That's the one. That's why, the power, the vote has always been the thing in any society that leaned democratic. Women will always outnumber men on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can track civilizations throughout time. When you're in decline, you start to see these alternative lifestyles, rise of women, right to vote, property rights, all this other kind of stuff. And it just goes counter to what has always built society. I think, I know if one thing, if modern women really wanted to make marriage much more appealing, start a political campaign to remove no-fault divorce and get women to sign off on it. Take that right away from women. You want to see the marital rate skyrocket? Remove no-fault divorce.
Because it has made it easy for people to divorce.
Right. But see, think about what I just said. That human beings in general don't want to give up a benefit. And to say, wait a minute, you got to give it up. Yeah, because men today are not listening to what women say. They're watching what women do, how they move. And that's what it comes. So could you imagine the symbolism of women volunteering, saying, all right, we really want to get this thing back on it. So as a gesture of good faith, we're going to remove no-fault divorce.
Right.
Men don't have a problem with that because we don't leave our relationships most of the time. We're the ones that stay. We're loyal. We follow the same football team for a lifetime. We don't leave. But what's the likelihood of, that happening? I don't see it. I don't see anybody giving up. I don't see women giving up those kind of benefits. I think the political pressure would be overwhelming.
Yeah. What's interesting too, Kevin, was, I did the video about with the father of my child, and I kind of really missed it where I was really focused on us having a better relationship between us so we could co-parent better. And one of the things that I did, which I used against him, was child support. But how I made it better was going to court and removing it. And for me, and I know there's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of women, but I mean, he didn't deserve to be on child support because he's literally a present father.
Well, it's all about good faith. I mean, the notion of before the 40s, I asked this question to a woman the other day. When did dating become a thing, and when did marriage, and when did the state need to get involved? You know why we even have marriage license? Miscegenation laws. They were so worried about black men marrying white women after Jack Johnson in the 1910s. That's where the Mann Act, the white slavery, that's where you got your modern day marriage laws from. You got to go register with the state. That's where the jump in the broom and all that other stuff comes from. The family court system is a multi-billion-dollar thing. And if you've never sat in family court, go sit in family court for 3 or 4 days. You will have a new appreciation for what men have to go through. Today, you got, like I said, if you're going to do the right, most men don't want to go. First off, most men don't want to go to be weekend dads. Right. They don't want that. And then it's like a double, triple whammy. You lose your child, then you got to be on paper. And if you miss something, whether she says it or not, things start happening, losing licenses, passports, all this other kind of stuff. That is a major burden removed. And it is a sign that you want to have a good faith relationship with a man. Now I get it. Today, women still are going to want to have security, but I'm always curious as to why women want so much security when it's you all that leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got a question for you. So are you basically saying that the laws need to be updated so that women aren't incentivized to leave, or do you think that women will more or less embrace marriage more if they had less options available to them? I guess I'm saying the same thing. Are women incentivized to leave? And if you remove those
Women are
incentives,
incentivized. Human beings act
Mm-hmm.
on incentives, and women are incented to break relationships.
yeah,
They're
got you.
incented. I mean, how many we got single women on? I was like, K. Let's see, K. K, you have no children, right? Right. That woman who got on CNN who was, I'm gonna be evicted. Who those children weren't even hers.
Mm.
Today, women without children can live better than all of us working folks on the panel. You just had a woman in the UK get 9 years for leaving her kid for 6 days while she went to party. The net of it is the movie Claudine. Anybody ever seen Claudine? Go watch Claudine.
That
What
old
really,
school.
yeah, what happened in the 60s was the civil rights movement was used to blunt. I mean, the feminism, womanism movement was used to blunt the civil rights movement. Two things happened around that time. Title IX, or a few things. Title IX, that means women need to be represented equally in educational institutions, sports, blah, 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 blah. But what really happened was that Roe v. Wade, access to, legalize abortion, and then mass birth control becoming available, family planning as it were called, and then no-fault divorce. Prior to 1945, so let's say Kay and I were married. Okay, Kay and I were married, and if she said she wanted a divorce, she could get a divorce. But if we had children, the children would automatically go with the father. She would leave with what she came with. So there was an incentive for you to actually stick to your vow. Now the incentive is you can actually live like a married woman without the husband, because a man is paying the amount of money to keep the standard of living where it is. That's just the child support. That's not on top of what it gets asked for additionally. And child support, and then in the states where they have alimony, you get doubles. So if this were business, it would be a bad move. So I understand it. So you can't go, Roe v. Wade, don't know what's going to happen with that one. But no-fault divorce would basically mean you would need more than just I'm not happy. Something would need to really be a precipitation, because you'd have to come prove the reason why you want to break it. And if you chose to, so if you had two things, no-fault divorce was removed, and if the children were automatically presumed to go with the father, how many relationships would end up? How many wives do you think would end up walking away? I think the number would drop drastically.
Yeah.
But women aren't going to vote for that. That's the one. That's why, the power, the vote has always been the thing in any society that leans democratic. Women will always outnumber men on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can track civilizations throughout time. When you're in decline, you start to see these alternative lifestyles, rise of women, the right to vote, property rights, all this other kind of stuff. And it just goes counter to what has always built society.